Hello guys, I'm Omkar Tauta. Hope everyone is doing good. Today we are going to learn how to use a debugger with Django in Pycharm. So I have two Pycharm editions in my Ubuntu. One is the professional and the other is community edition. So here I'm using the community edition as it is a free open source software. Here you have to open the project which you want to run the debugger in it. I have already opened the project. This is the chat app tutorial project which I have made a video of how to create a real-time chatting application in Django using WebSockets. So first we have to configure the virtual environment with the Pycharm. So for that, here it is already showing to create a virtual environment using requirements.txt, but I will show it in a settings file. So go to the file and go to settings, and here you can see the project, and inside it we have an Python interpreter. Click on the settings button and add. If you want to create a new virtual environment, click on this, and here you can opt for the existing environment or the new environment. If you have an existing virtual environment, click on this and give the path of the Python interpreter in that virtual envs. But I want to create a new virtual environment, so I'm selecting the new virtual environment, and here you can give the custom path as well, and the base interpreter is what you want to use Python version. For example, if you want to use the Python 3.7 and there are multiple Python versions on your system, here you can get the option like this, so you can select which one to run for this virtual environment. So I'm selecting the new virtual environment and clicking OK. Yeah, now I have created a virtual environment and click OK. Now we have set the virtual environment for this project, but we haven't installed the requirements. So if you have a requirements.txt file in your project, the Pycharm automatically detects it and asks for to install the requirements or not. Or just if this option doesn't come, select the requirements.txt file and automatically it pops up. I'm clicking the install requirements, and these are given in my requirements.txt, and it is showing to install, so I'm just installing it. You can see the progress at the bottom of this Pycharm. Here it is saying are not satisfied, so we'll install them again. Yeah, now all the packages have been installed which are mentioned in the requirements.txt. So we have already set the interpreter path. So to check if the interpreter path is correct and the virtual environment we have given is correct, just open the terminal which you can see at the bottom of the Pycharm. Whenever you click on the terminal, it should open by activating the virtual environment. If you see here that the virtual environment is activated already, this tells that the path for the virtual environment is set correctly. So now I'm going to give a configuration file where you can run the Django project using a single click, and we don't want to type the command python manage.py run server every time. So here at the top you have an add configuration button, so click on this. Here you have to add a new Python file and name it run server, and in the script path you have to give the manage.py of the project. So here I'm selecting it, and in the parameters you have to give the run server, and rest everything is already selected. You don't want to edit anything, and apply. Click OK. Now our configuration file is updated, so we can run the server by a single click. Now if I click on the play button, the server will run automatically. If you see here, the server has been run automatically. You don't want to write the command every time if you want to run the server. Here we are running the server normally. We haven't enabled the debugging mode. To stop the server, click the red button, and now we have to run the project in the debugging mode. For that, you'll see a debug icon on the top of the Pycharm, so click on this. This takes a little more time than the normal run server because it enables the debugging mode in it. Yeah, now our project is being run in the debugging mode. If you see here, a debug tab is given here. Wherever you want to stop the project execution, just put the breakpoints over there. So I want to put the breakpoints over here. So whenever this function is being called, the execution point would be stopped here, and you can evaluate each and every value, and you can also write your own logic at this particular point. For that, first we have to run this function. This is a simple view function which shows the HTML page. Go to the Chrome and run the page. Localhost/chat is the URL. And yeah, if you see here, I have just run the page and automatically the Pycharm has opened. The execution point has been stopped at this line number 10. So at this point of time, you can check every value inside every object, like what all the objects we have. This actually reduces a lot of time in development. We don't need to write the print statement every time. In my personal experience, it's almost an year since I have been used a print statement in my project. The moment I started using the debugger, I completely stopped the print statement. It's just a waste of time if you use the print statement and run the server again. Whenever you write the print statement, the server restarts and you have to wait for that time. So this debugger help you a lot in saving time and debugging very fast. This obviously reduces time and gives a better understanding of how a project runs and how the objects are being manipulated, how can we get the data from that. So here, if you want to see what is there in the request object, go to the console over here, and whatever the value you write here, it prints the value. You don't need to write the print directly. So here I have typed request, and when I enter it, yeah, it is showing it's an get request, like ASGI request object. And if you want to see what all values a request contains, like what all the values I can use from the request object, here we have a special evaluate option where we can evaluate the expression and see what everything is present in an object. If you see in here, at the last of this line here, there is a calculator kind of icon. So when you click this icon, you'll see a pop-up, and here you can write your custom code and execute and see if your logic is correct or not. You don't want to write the logic first and run every time. You can directly write your multiple lines of code. I personally like evaluate expression than console. If I write the request in here and click on evaluate, wow, you can see what all values consist in the request object. This is a cool feature. Here the request has a lot of data in it. You can get the files objects, and you can have the headers from which host the request has been hit. If I want to check what is inside headers, and just type headers, boom, you can see what all values inside the headers object. This is one of the cool feature of the PyCharm where you can evaluate expressions. If you want to execute a query, you can also do that. Whatever line you want to execute, just select the complete line and click on the evaluate expression. This opens the evaluate pop-up along with the data in it. Whatever you selected in this, it's automatically selected here. Whenever you click on the evaluate, it shows the query set. The result is the query set object where you have multiple properties attributes in it. So if you write the dot query, you'll get the SQL query of the query set. And here you can also check what the objects are. Like if I write first dot first, yeah, the first object is being printed here, and all the values inside the object are being shown here. If you see the first person ID, here there are few options in the debugger which we have to know. The first one is the step over. When we click on this, the current line is executed and go to the next line. If you see, when I click the next, the step over, and this line has been executed and the context variable has the dictionary in it. Even you can evaluate the context variable, the dictionary where threads is the key and it has the query set in it. How cool is it, right? The next option is step into. When we have a function call in the code, you can directly click on the step into and it goes inside the function. If you use the step over, it doesn't go inside the function, but it directly executes the function and gives the result and goes into the next line. Like at the first line, at the line number 10, we have seen it did not go inside the by user method. It's because we haven't used the step in. So here we are having a new function call, the render function call. So when I click the step into, it directly goes into the render function. If you see here, If you try to do the step over, it directly executes the line, it doesn't go inside the function. And there is an another option, the step out. Right now we are inside the render function. When you click on the step out icon, it comes out of the function. These are very useful if you want to go inside a function and don't want to give an extra breakpoint in that function. One more thing, assume that you have opened a lot of files in here and you don't know where the program execution point is stopped and you want to go there. You can directly click the hamburger button which is present over here. When you click on this button, it directly goes to the execution point of the program, and this is how it works. I have explained 3 to 4 features of debugger which we use regularly in our Django project. Rest you can explore what is step into my code and run to cursor. There is a play button over here which resumes the program. So when I click this, the program will be executed completely. We can also put the debugging points at anywhere in the project in any Python file. Like if I go to the settings file and put a debugging point over here, so and restart the server, it stops here. It's because, as we all know, first time when the Django server starts, it imports the settings file. So first the settings file is executed. So here we have put a breakpoint here, and if you see in the console, the server is not started yet. And I'll show you and put another breaking point, line number 74. What does this resume program do is it directly goes to the next breaking point. If I click on this, yeah, if you see the program execution has been stopped at the next breaking point. If you click the resume program again, if there is no breaking point after this, the program will be executed completely. So if I click here, yeah, it again stopped because the settings file in the Django is loaded 2 times. That's why it again stopped at the breaking point 56. And if I click, it again stops at 74. And again when I click on this, yeah, the program has been executed successfully. We can use multiple breakpoints and directly click the resume program. Whenever we want to execute a custom query and check what the db values are there, for that generally what we do is like we type the command python manage.py shell and we will execute the values. And python manage.py shell is very old version, like we cannot use the auto suggestions are not given in that. So for that, Pycharm also provides a special tool called python console. Let's open it and try. But before this, we have to configure the settings in it so that the Django settings have been already loaded into this python console. It is just like the python manage.py shell, but it is more advanced. Here you have the auto suggestions, and you can also use upper arrows to execute the previous command. So this enables you a lot, and also you can see the variables over here in this particular box. For that, we have to enable the settings. Go to file and click on settings and type console in the search, and now you can find the python console over here. I'll be going to share a code snippet. Here you have to paste that inside this starting script, so it simply loads the Django shell, and Django setup is run after loading the shell, so that our settings have been loaded correctly. And click on apply, then OK. Just close the python console again, and when you open the python console, okay, it's showing Django manage shell. Go to the file once again, open settings, and inside the environment variable, we have to add a new environment, which is Django settings module. And here we can control shift plus v gives the last recent copied values, so you can use this in Pycharm. I'm using, and OK, then apply. OK, try to open the console again. Yeah, now the Django shell has been activated. Let's import any modules, like from chat. Here you can see the suggestions are being given. Models import, I will import the thread. Yeah, now if you can see in the right side box, the thread has been imported into the console. If I want to see what all values inside the thread, I will directly write objects dot whatever the values filter. Yeah, simply I can write all. Wow, this is also a very good thing which you can use in your regular development. This is another cool feature of PyCharm where you can use the advanced version of the Python shell. Hope this tip also helps you a lot. This is all how the debugger helps you in saving a lot of time without always writing the print statements. I'm pretty sure that if you use the debugger from now, you'll never use the print statement. You'll hate the print statement and think of how much time you have wasted till now without using the debugger. So as a good developer, you have to start using the debugger and analyze each and every variables where you can find how an actual objects are being stored and save a lot of time. So hope this video has helped you a lot. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.